Good afternoon, all the participants. On behalf of Indian Railway Institute of Financial Management, IRIFM, Secunderabad, I extend warm welcome to each one of you for today's webinar on commercial bookkeeping theory part. These online courses are designed specially for those candidates who are appearing for special Appendix 3A exam to be held in March this year. And these sessions are also useful for all those who are appearing, you're preparing for 3 exam, which will be held in the later part of the year. So all those who are preparing for 3 exam can attend these courses. To take up this session, today's session, that is commercial bookkeeping on a theory-based accounting, we have Shri G Vijaya, faculty IRIFM. Welcome, sir. And it's over to you on the session.
Thank you, Bender. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. So, towards as Mr. Benner said, which is the candidates who are writing for your Appendix 3A, Advanced Commercial Bookkeeping. I'm going through the first chapter, that is Introduction and Theory-Based Accounting. We'll take it forward, which I've already done it, but once again we are starting, keeping in view the exam which is going to be there next month, sometime March 14th or something, I do not know exactly date, but we'll take it forward, okay? So once again, welcome to all of you all. So I'm just starting. This is theory-based accounting. Like I already mentioned, in any case, whoever is joining for the first time, please understand, like any sciences, accounting also is a subject based on certain, like, in a science, like, H2O means water. It is as good as that. It is based on certain rules, certain concepts, certain principles. To ensure uniformity in business, these rules, concept, principles are very, very important. The main reason for these things is to ensure what I said, uniformity in business. So accounting aims at providing information about the financial performance of a firm to its various users, such as owners, managers, employees, investors, creditors, supply of goods and services, and tax authorities, and help them in taking important decisions. ये आप सबको समझ में आना चाहिए, very important है. The main thing, the rules or concepts या जो भी principles हम use करेंगे, that is towards ensuring uniformity. Means हर एक चीज you can compare, comparison कर सकते, you can take decision making, everything. For that purpose, this uniformity is there. As I take it forward, I will let you know क्या है इसका मतलब, यूनिफॉर्मिटी का मतलब क्या हो, क्या रूल्स अप्लाई करेंगे, कैसा यूज होगा. एनी क्वेश्चंस इज देयर, प्लीज यू कैन कीप रेडी योर क्वेश्चंस, देन आई विल कम बैक. So for making accounting information meaningful to its internal and external users, internal means what? The owners, the employees, or whoever it is. External users होंगे, creditors होंगे, lenders होंगे, who are taking loans from us, tax authorities, जो भी है shareholders बाहर वाले, उनको भी useful होगा. It is important that such information is reliable as well as comparable. ये important है. This is the most important point of accounting. It should be reliable. Means it should be correct. Everyone, जो भी हम बाहर वाले देखेंगे हमारा information, they should feel that it is reliable. It means it is not fake. अभी आप लोग जो पढ़ेंगे पेपरों में आता है, ये कंपनी ये कंपनी में स्कैम हुआ, वो कंपनी में स्कैम हुआ करके, because the information what it was giving earlier was not reliable, it was made up. So ये चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स भी क्या करते हैं, उसको सर्टिफाई कर देते। उसके बाद आपको मालूम होगा कि सत्यम कंप्यूटर्स में जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन लिखा हुआ था बैलेंस शीट में, इट वाज शोन, इट वाज फेक एंड इट वाज ऑल फज्ड बोलते हैं हम उसको, इंफॉर्मेशन को फज करे, इसलिए द ओनर आल्सो वेंट टू जेल, द चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट आल्सो वेंट टू जेल। सो वेरी ये बहुत अहमियत होती कि ये चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स क्या करते हैं, बैलेंस शीट को उन लोग सर्टिफाई करते हैं दैट इट इज वेरी ट्रू एंड फेयर करते। So because of that only this information is reliable, and this information can be compared. Compare means for last year कैसा था, अभी year कैसा होगा, ऐसा करते, that is called reliability. Now the comparability of information is required both to make inter-firm comparison as to show a firm as compared to the other firms. Inter-firm is what? Our firm is compared with the another firm. That is उसको बोलते inter-firm. As well as intra-firm means हमारी company we'll compare ourselves with the last year, how we have done last year and how we are going to do this year and what we are going to do next year, setting the targets, and उसको बोलते intra-firm. Intra-firm means within the same company. Inter-firm means with other companies. How to perform as compared to them. This becomes possible only if the information provided by the financial statement is based on consistent accounting policies. This is very important. Accounting policies, principles, and practices, which I am going to deal with it. The importance of accounting theory not to be overemphasized, as no discipline can be developed without sound theoretical base. The theory base of accounting consists of principles, concepts, rules. They're all interrelated. It's not much, but slight differences are there. Principles and concepts. इसलिए हम बोलते हैं, अभी आगे मैं बोलता generally accepted accounting principles है हमारे पास, GAAP बोलते हैं, GAAP, which I'm going to discuss. Developed over a period of time to bring uniformity. ये ऐसा नहीं कि एक दिन में हुआ और एक year में हो गया. Every year, as and when we keep coming across certain things, हमारे rules and concepts change होते गए. So developed over a period of time to bring uniformity and consistency. ये अब very important है. Uniformity and consistency के बारे में आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि what it is all about. So this constitutes the process of accounting and enhance utility to different users of accounting information. When facts and information is presented to interested users, the language and terminology used must be understood. Now, this is what I'm doing. अभी साइंस में होगा, मैथमेटिक्स में थोड़े वर्ड्स रहेंगे, sorry, excuse me, which makes it absolutely necessary for accounting information to be uniform. हमें भी हमारे terminology पता करने के लिए we should use those terms: uniformity, consistency, complete, reliable. And I'm going on talking about this only. This is very important because this is what it is going to be utility to interested users. जो भी interest है accounting में, उनको मालूम रहना कि ये information uniform है, ये consistent है, complete है, reliable है, relevant है. So that is what I told you. अभी आ गया अपना main ये chapter का accounting theory base में generally accepted accounting principles हम use करेंगे. I will be telling the accepted accounting principles या तो concept, और उसके बारे में आपको example भी देता मैं आपको समझ में आने के लिए. Okay? In order to maintain uniformity and consistency in accounting records, certain rules or principles have to be developed which are generally accepted by the accounting profession. मैं जो भी example बोलता आप you should accept it. These rules are called by different names such as principles, concepts, convention, assumptions, and modifying principles. Okay. Generally accepted accounting principles refers to the rules or guidelines adopted for recording and reporting of business transactions in order to bring uniformity in the preparation and the presentation of financial statements. What are these generally accepted accounting principles? These have been evolved over a long period of time, over the years. सालों से उन लोग उसको पढ़ के उसको जैसा अपने को चाहिए वैसा उसको अमेंड करते हुए उसको एवरी ईयर क्या करते चेंज करते रहते, उसको अपग्रेड करते रहते. It is based on our basis of the past experiences, usages or customs or statements by individuals and professional bodies and regulations by government agencies and have generally acceptability among most accounting professionals. अभी जो भी हम principles concept लेंगे, everyone will be accepting it. So that is how it is being developed over a period of time. जैसा However, the principles of accounting are not static. They're not static means ये ऐसा रुके नहीं किधर भी. In nature, these are consistently influenced by changes in the legal, social, and economic environment as well as the need of the users. जैसा अपने को use चाहिए वैसा उसको change करते ही गए. In practice, the same rules or guidelines have been described by one author as a concept. वही अभी बोल रहे देखो. One author says concept, by another says postulate, and another says a convention. इसलिए it is called generally accepted principles, concepts, and conventions. So बोलते all mean the same. Now, this at times becomes confusing to the learners. अभी जैसा तुम लोग है, you will feel confused, but I am going to make it very comfortable and very easy with my exam. Instead of going into the semantics of these terms, it is important to concentrate on the practicality of the usage. So from practicability viewpoint, it is observed that the various terms such as principles, postulates, conventions, modifying principles, assumption, etc. have been used interchangeably and are referred to as basic accounting concepts. So finally, we said ये सबको एक ही बात बोलेंगे. In the present chapter, I talk about what concepts and conventions. बस ये postulates and principles सबको एक ही बात है present. So they are called accounting concepts. So now please all of you all pay attention. One of the very important theory questions should be what are the accounting concepts आपको आने का chance है 3A में theory based में. और आगे भी जो होने वाला है नेक्स्ट ये एग्जाम में आगे एग्जाम में आपको थोड़ा मल्टीपल अब अकाउंटिंग इज ओनली सब्जेक्टिव है एज ऑफ नो. अब देखेंगे क्या होता. सो वन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज बिजनेस एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल हम बिजनेस स्टार्ट करेंगे. सब व्हेन यू स्टार्ट द बिजनेस वी से स्टार्टेड बिजनेस विथ 10,000 कैपिटल. तो उसमें अपना रियल अकाउंट होता. आई विल टेल व्हेन आई कम टू द अगेन जनरल एंट्रीज में आपको पढ़ाएंगे. बट दैट इज ऑल बेस्ड ऑन आवर एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट. हम क्या करेंगे कैश अकाउंट डेटा टू कैपिटल. वी से डेबिट व्हाट कम्स इन. कैश इज कमिंग इन. क्रिएट द गिवर. हु इज द गिवर? द ओनर इज द गिवर. ओनर इज गिविंग टू द बिजनेस. सो बिजनेस इज सेपरेट एंड द ओनर इज सेपरेट. दैट इज व्हाई वी से so owner cannot write his name. He is giving money to the business. So we always talk from the business viewpoint. Business is a different entity. So business, from the business point of view we talk. That is why it is called business entity concept. So the concept of business entity assuming that business has a distinct and separate entity from its owners. Owner अलग है, business अलग है. तो ऐसा सोचना. इसलिए हम ये बिजनेस एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर से हम एंट्रीज लिखेंगे. बिजनेस विल सेपरेट द ओनर फ्रॉम द बिजनेस. So it means that for the purpose of the accounting, the business and its owners are to be treated as two separate entities. Am I clear with this? Anyone can raise your questions. कुछ है तो चैट करो मेरे से. अभी इधर से इंपॉर्टेंट है. What I told, that's all theory you can read, but इधर से आपको एग्जाम में आने का चांस है, शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस में आने का है. what is business entity concept bolte hain. So they are all generally accepted accounting. Based on this only हमारे accounting ढेर सारा अभी world में जितना भी accounting है, it is based on generally accepted accounting principles. Please understand, very important. Why we write cash account data to capital? Cash is coming in, debit what comes in. Credit the giver is owner is giving. Business भी अपना है owner. So हम क्या करते हैं? For the purpose of accounting के लिए business is treated as separate from the owner. So owner, it means it means that for the purpose of accounting, the business and its owners are treated as two separate. Business अलग है, owner अलग है. Though it is my own business, but I have to treat like that for the purpose. Then only we know exactly. तो अपना पर्सनल ट्रांजैक्शंस और बिजनेस ट्रांजैक्शन क्लब नहीं हो जाते. बिजनेस का बिजनेस होगा, पर्सनल पर्सनली होगा. सो दैट इज व्हाई दिस इज कॉल्ड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट इज बिजनेस एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट. So keeping this in view, when a person brings in some money as capital into his business, in accounting records, it is treated as liability of the business to the owner. This is what it is. So I hope you all have understood. Keeping this in view, when a person brings in some money as capital into his business, in accounting records, it is treated as a liability of the business to the owner. Liability of the business to the owner. So the business has to pay back to the owner. So business, so owner पैसे business को दिया, so business is separate. So business has to pay back to the owner. That is why the capital is shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. This is the very important point. Many students, many people are not aware of it. Why means you should tell, because based on the business entity concept, business is separate and owner is separate. So that is why so owner business will show capital as a liability on the liability side of the balance sheet. Here, one separate entity, that is owner. Owner is separate entity, is assumed to be the giving money to another distinct entity. So one separate is what? Owner. Another is what? Business. So owner is giving to business. So similarly, when the owner withdraws any money from the business for his personal expenses, that like drawings, it is treated as a reduction of the owner's capital and the consequential reduction in the liability. Means when the owner draws the money, so capital घटेगा, so the business has to pay to the owner less money because उन्होंने withdraw कर लिया drawings. तो drawings इसलिए हम क्या करते हैं? Capital में से minus करते हैं. So this is very important. आपको अगर this concept समझ में आए तो डेढ़ साल आगे का जो भी है आपको समझ में आ जाएगा accounting. It is all based on the business entity concept. So the accounting records are made in the book from the point of view of the business unit and not that of the owner, as already told. I am doing very detailed में आपको वाला. So the personal assets and liabilities of the owner are therefore not considered while recording and reporting the assets and liabilities. Owner का घर पे रहेगा, business का business, so separately रहेगा. दोनों will not be merged, दोनों will not be added. Similarly, personal transactions of the owner are not recorded in the books of the business. में हम पता है ना, personal रहेगा, business रहेगा, unless it involves inflow or outflow of business funds. So this concept ensures only business transactions are recorded and it is applicable to all forms of business. Anything, whether you take sole trader or partnership or company, जो भी है, any form of business organization, this concept of business entity is there. Business is separate from the owners. Anyone having doubt, please पता देना. I am trying to teach in Hindi and English as well. Which be doubt hai, any doubt is there, please keep asking me. I'll clarify.
Sir, all are muted, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Can I unmute them?
No, I don't. There were 77 are there, no? They can chat with me. Yeah. If they have any doubt, they can put a question, I can answer them.
All are unmuted, sir.
Okay. Because if there were 20 people, I would ask you to unmute and I can interact. No, 77 people will be difficult. I'll keep going. Then they can. Anyway, I have got a session in the last half an hour. Question answer will be there, no?
Yes, sir.
Then in that I will let them. I'll tell them to keep note of any doubts are there. I can either in the chat box they can ask me or later on they can ask me. I'll clarify. Thank you. So that is what it is. So another very important concept is money measurement concept. For example, you may ask someone, if I ask someone how much you like someone I like him so much. Can you record such type of time? I like him. I love him. I am very grateful to him. He's very wonderful person. All such things cannot be recorded in the books of account. Anything can be recorded in the books of account should be measurable in monetary terms. That's what I said. The concept of money measurement states that only those transactions and happenings in an organization which can be expressed in terms of money be recorded in the books of accounts. That is what expressing means. I paid 20,000, I received 10,000, I sold 10,000, I paid him 5,000. Something, these transactions which can be expressed in terms of money only can be recorded, which cannot be expressed in monetary terms, cannot be recorded in the books of accounts. So that is what you have to understand. Very important concept is this. Yes, 2 people have raised, but what is your question? I don't know. You have raised your hand, but it is on. Yes, you can chat with me. You raised it, I know, but I don't know what is your question. Realme and
sir, you can unmute them, sir. By
okay, I can unmute them.
As a co-host, you have a.
Yes, Redmi Note 7 Pro. What is your question? What's your doubt? I don't, they're not coming. Neither they're chatting nor they're, though it is unmuted, they have not come.
Yeah, Realme C2, please unmute.
They have raised the hand, but I don't know for what.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir, please continue.
Yeah. Anyway, you keep your doubts ready. When I come back, I'll explain. So all such transactions or happenings which cannot be expressed in money do not find a place in the accounting. I told an example. I like someone, he is very good person, that like that. He is a wonderful person, I love him. Like such things cannot be. I sold, the business sold goods or worth, purchased goods, purchased plant and machinery. Those things which can be measured only can be recorded. Very important of money measurement concept. See, this is a theory based question. Agar aa gaye to exam mein aapko what are the various concepts and conventions में आराम से you can write. One is, first is what? Business entity concept 1, money measurement concept 2. 2 lines you can write is enough. Another important aspect of the concept of money measurement is that the records of the transactions are to be kept not in the form of it, but in the monetary only. You cannot say 5 liters, 5 kgs and all. 5 liters at the rate of 10, 50 rupees. So it should be only, very important is monetary terms. C2 raised his hand, but you can chat with me your doubt because you are not unmuted. Okay. So did you understand? It should be in monetary terms and it should not be in physical units. It should be, though it is 5 liters of 5 liters of milk or 5 liters of petrol, it should be in monetary terms of 100 rupees or 200 rupees, but not in physical units. So that is very important. 2 points are there. It cannot be in, it should be expressed in monetary terms and it should be in monetary units, not in physical units. Yes. For example, an organization may, on a particular day, see one example for you, on a particular day have a factory on a piece of land measuring 2 acres, office building containing 10 rooms, 30 personal computers, 30 offices and tables, a bank balance of 5 lakhs, raw materials of being 20 tons, and 100 cartons of finished goods. These assets are expressed in different units, so cannot be added to give any meaningful. We cannot add 10 rooms, 30 persons, 30 office chairs, tables, bank balance and all. So give meaningful information about the total worth of the bill. For accounting purpose, therefore these are shown in monetary terms. 2 acres का कितना वैल्यू होता, ऑफिस बिल्डिंग कंटेनिंग 10 rooms का कितना वैल्यू होता, 30 पर्सनल कंप्यूटर्स का कितना होगा, 30 ऑफिस चेयर्स का कितना होगा, टेबल्स एंड बैंक बैलेंस 5 lakhs को ऐड कर देंगे, raw material. So all should be in the, for accounting per, therefore these are shown in monetary terms. They cannot be shown in physical units. So this is the very important point of your money measurement concept. Now, very, very important going concern. When we start the business, क्या हमको पता लगता कि कभी बिजनेस क्लोज होता है, कभी हम बंद करेंगे, कभी हो जाएगा. Can anyone know? Not like it's something like we are born. Does anyone know when we are going to die? Like that, business also does not know when it will close. So that is that is why we do our business is done on what? Going concern concept. The concept of going concern assumes that a business firm would continue to carry out its operations indefinitely. What? The concept of going concern assumes that the business firm would continue to carry out its operations indefinitely. That is a fairly long period of time and would not be liquidated in the foreseeable future. This is very important. समझ में आ रहा आपको? The concept of going concern assumes that a business firm would continue to carry out its operations indefinitely. We do not know. वो चलते रहता. That is why it's called going concern concept. That is a fairly long period of time and would not be liquidated in the foreseeable, means हम नहीं देख सकते when it can be closed. This is an important assumption of accounting as it provides very basis for showing the value of assets in the balance sheet. So हम balance sheet में क्या, that is the reason no, when we buy an asset we show it in the balance sheet because it is not for one day, it is there for it is used for long time. All such assets will be shown in the balance sheet. This is the reason business assets are purchased and not taken on rent on it. Suppose for example, अभी आपको एक एग्जांपल, छोटा एग्जांपल देता आपको. सपोज आपका शादी हो रहा है, आप जो टेंट करे थे ना, शामियाना बोलते, टेंट बोलते, डू यू बाई इट और हायर इट? वी हायर इट बिकॉज हम एक दिन के लिए यूज करते, शादी के लिए, बस हो जाएगा. वैसे ही हमारे बिजनेस घर में हमारा कॉट्स है, टीवी है, रेफ्रिजरेटर्स है, वी आर गोइंग टू यूज इट फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम. सो दे आर परचेस्ड. सो यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड बिजनेस ऑल्सो will buy the assets because it is going to be used for long time. So that is based on the going concern concept. So please all of you, जो भी आपको क्वेश्चन करना है आप या तो चैट करो, चैट बॉक्स में मैं आंसर दे देता, आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू वंस अगेन, या तो यू मेक ए नोट ऑफ इट एंड आई विल क्लियर योर डाउट्स एंड ऑफ द सेशन. Very important is what? Now, if they ask you in the exam, what are the, according to the general accepted principles, and first concept is what you should write is what? Business entity concept. Second, you write money measurement concept. Third is what? Going concern concept. Those 3 lines लिख देना. I'll summarize it in the end. Then very important is accounting period. आप लोग है ना, जब you might be there in the schools, every year हम एग्जाम लिखते, फाइनल एग्जाम, बिकॉज अब फर्स्ट क्लास में, सेकंड क्लास में, थर्ड क्लास में, ऐसा थोड़ी 10 साल पे एक एग्जाम, 15 साल पे एक एग्जाम ऐसा होता है क्या? नहीं होता. वी डोंट राइट लाइक दैट. सो दैट व्हाई वी राइट एग्जाम एट द एंड ऑफ द ईयर, सो वी शुड नो वेदर वी failed or passed. Similarly, a businessman also should know whether he is doing good or bad, whether he is getting profit or loss, all such things. So that is why we prepare trading account and profit and loss for the year and a balance sheet as at the end of the year. So very important is what? Accounting period concept. So why we prepare our final accounts every year? It is based on the accounting period concept. So for everything, why we have to prepare accounts? क्यों ऐसा करना, क्यों ऐसा करना, वो क्यों करना ऐसा? So everything is based on the accounting concepts and principles. Why we have to prepare balance sheet at the end of the year? Because it is called, because accounting period concept. Accounting period refers to the span of the time at the end of which the financial statements of an enterprise are prepared. So financial statements are what? The what are financial? Trading account and profit and loss account are called income statements and position statement. Position is what? Balance sheet. We prepare at the end of each year. That is why it is called accounting period concept. To know whether it has earned profits or incurred losses during that period and what exactly is the position of its assets and liabilities at the end of that period. So every year at the end of the year, अपने को financial position मालूम रहना कि whether company is doing good or bad, profit or loss or, and what are my assets and what are my liabilities. So this is how we go over. Such information is required by different users at regular interval for various purposes. As no firm can wait for long to know its financial results, as various decisions have to be taken regular intervals on the basis of such information. So this is the very important point. So such information is required by different users Every company wants to know whether this company is doing good or bad. तो उनका उन लोग क्या करते हैं, हमारा बैलेंस शीट और अपना इनकम स्टेटमेंट देख के, इनकम स्टेटमेंट पर प्रॉफिट आ रहा, लॉस आ रहा, प्रॉफिट आया तो they'll think it is a good company. Balance sheet दिए तो they'll know our assets and liabilities. So very important information is this. So information by different users are regular for various purposes, as no firm can wait for long to know its financial. So every time we want to know our position is doing good or bad, isn't it? आजकल तो we talk about, you know, our every hour, every 1 hour, some people are finding out their financial position, you know, quarterly, half yearly, monthly, जो भी जैसा कर सकते हैं. So this is to be taken regularly on the basis of such information. The financial statements are therefore prepared at regular interval, normally after a period of 1 year. Normally, every financial company will prepare for the year ending at the end of 1 year, so that time information at that time, the information is made available to the users. This interval of time is called accounting period. It could be quarterly, it could be half yearly, it could be monthly, it could be yearly, it could be whatever it is. Okay. So companies whose shares are listed on the stock exchange are required to publish quarterly results to ascertain the profitability and financial growth at the end of every year. So अभी जो लोग quarter shares में deal कर रहे हैं ना, so they would like to know the company's financial position कैसा कर रहा है. Suddenly एक साल के बाद बोल तो the company may be doing very bad तो loss हो जाता. So normally stock exchange में they are all required to publish the quarterly, sometimes monthly also. So public will know how the company is doing, अच्छा हो रहा है या बुरा हो रहा है करके. Okay, like that. Another important is what? Cost concept. The cost concept requires that all business transactions are recorded in the books of accounts at their cost of acquisition, which is very, very important. Cost of acquisition means it includes what? Suppose when you buy suppose हम एक कार खरीदे तो 5 lakhs का कार है, but उसका registration 50,000 है, example. So you should not say car cost is 5 lakhs. You should say 5 lakhs plus उसका one time lifetime में उसका insurance होगा, तो फिर उसका registration होगा, ये सब मिला के we should say 6 lakhs. You should not say 5 lakhs. So cost of acquisition, which includes what? Purchase price, transportation, installation, and any other amount spent in making the asset ready to use. So up to the machinery is ready to put into use, up to that whatever expenditure is incurred, it is treated as cost of acquisition. Very important. ये आपको depreciation chapter में भी मालूम होना चाहिए. So when I come to depreciation chapter, I'll explain you. Cost of acquisition means cost plus installation लेंगे for the purpose of calculating depreciation and all. So very important point is this. That is why we are doing, because that is the meaning of cost concept. Cost concept means all that the business, whenever they buy the asset, all that they should take. Cost of acquisition includes purchase price, transportation, installation, and any other amount. इसलिए आपको एक example, small example where you can understand. Suppose you buy a split AC. वो split AC you spend 20,000. वो आदमी आके उसको एक यूनिट बाहर रखता है, एक यूनिट अंदर रखता है, उसको थोड़ा इंस्टॉलेशन करता, वायरिंग करता है, वो कॉपर वायर वो सब करने में suppose is charging 5,000. So you should say the cost is 20 plus 5, 25,000, because 5,000 you are not going to spend again. It is one time installation expenses. So cost of the asset will become mainly cost plus installation expenses. So these two you should understand. Cost concept. To illustrate, on June 2005, I'm giving an example. I told one orally example, I'm teaching one problem. To illustrate one, on June 2005, an old plant was purchased for 50 lakhs by Shiva Enterprises, which is into the business of manufacturing detergent powder. Okay. An amount of 10,000 was spent on transporting the plant to the factory site. 10,000 हम किसके लिए spend करें? Transporting. In addition, rupees 15,000 was spent on repairs for bringing the plant into running position, because हमने उसको second hand machine खरीदे ना, old plant, उसको थोड़ा running condition में लाने के लिए another 15,000 we have spent, and 25,000 on its installation में spent करें. So the total amount at which the plant will be recorded in the books of account would be the sum of all this, that is 5 lakh, 50 lakhs, 50,000. ये समझ में आप सबको 50 lakhs ने हमने खरीदा, but we have spent 10,000, 25,000 or 15,000 for its, for its transportation, for its installation, for its, one-time expenditure to bring the asset into a usable condition or like that. So all that will be added to the, इसलिए इधर बोला देखो, purchase price, transportation, installation, any they spend making the asset ready to use. So purchase price 5 lakh था, transportation 10 था, installation 15 था, फिर amount spent for repairing it and putting into use, put to use के लिए 25. So total cost has become 5 lakhs 50,000, 50 lakhs 50,000. So this is, tomorrow any other expenditure will not add it, or running expenditure बोलते उसको. Once the asset is put to use, any other expenditure will not be part of the asset, that will be treated as running expenditure. So cost of acquisition में नहीं आएगा. So this is the whole, when you do different chapters, आपको समझ में आने के लिए, this is cost concept is very, very important. Our entire accounting is based on these cost concepts. So the concept of cost is historical in nature, as it is something which has been paid on the date of the acquisition and does not change year after year. जो pay करे बस, we will not be writing at market value. जो pay करे वही asset हम दिखलाएंगे. For example, if a building has been purchased by a firm for rupees 2.5 crores, the purchase price will be recorded over various years as 2.5, though its market value may change. We will not write at market value. Why we don't write at a market value? Because we are not going to sell the asset today. So that is why we should always write at what concept? Cost concept, which is we are paid for it. वही price में हम दिखते जाएंगे over the years. We will never change it. We will be writing at historical cost, but not at market value. Very important point for all of you to understand. If there is any doubt is there, you can keep a note and I'll explain you बाद में. Another very, very, very important concept is our entire accounting is based on what dual asset. For each and every debit, there must be a corresponding credit. हम बोलते हैं ना, double entry. Double entry is based on the dual asset concept. देखो, अभी होगा आपका dual asset is the foundation or basic principle of accounting. It provides very basis for recording business transaction into the book of accounting. This concept states that every transaction has a dual or twofold effect and should therefore be recorded at two places. In other words, at least two accounts will be involved in recording a transaction. Am I clear? Dual asset is a foundation or the basic principle of accounting. It provides very basis for recording business transactions into the book of accounts. This concept states that every transaction has a dual or twofold effect. हम बोलते हैं ना, for each and every debit there must be a corresponding credit. If you remember, अभी real account debit what comes in, credit what goes. Personal debit the receiver, credit the giver. Nominal says debit all expenses and losses, credit. So for each and every debit there must be a corresponding credit. So that is why that is based on what? Dual accept concept. So you should understand this. In other words, at least two accounts will be involved in recording any transaction. Suppose you paid rent account data to cash account. Rent को debit करेंगे, cash को. Paid wages account data to cash. Started business with capital, cash account data to capital. Paid rent to Mr. X account data to cash. So एक debit होता है, एक credit होता है. Debit credit होना ही है. So that is called, it is based on the dual asset concept. So the duality of principle is commonly expressed in terms of what? Fundamental accounting equation, which is as follows. Suppose for example, you started 1 lakh capital. आपका assets होगा 1 lakh, आपका liabilities होगा 0, capital होगा 1 lakh. So assets 1 lakh is equal to liability 0 plus capital. So अपना journal entry को अपन convert करेंगे accounting equation. Every transaction के बाद accounting equation आप करेंगे, so that will be equal to this. Assets is equal to a very, very powerful equation. This is called accounting equation. Very powerful. If anyone can understand accounting, अगर ये equation समझ में आया, if you are able to do it, you know you are a master in accounts. So that is what is very important. Assets is equal to liabilities and capital. Then another equation इधर ही हम बोलेंगे assets minus liabilities होगा capital, फिर assets minus capital होगा liabilities, वैसा भी कर सकते. Okay, so please. In other words, the equation states that the assets of a business are always equal to the claims of the owners and the outside. Claims of the owners and outsiders both okay. Claims on assets will be always equal to the claims of the owners. Owners both what capital and outsiders also liability. So if you started business with 1 lakh, so 1 lakh is cash asset है, liability किसी को देना नहीं, but plus the business has to pay to the owner capital 1 lakh. So ये tally हो जाएगा. So that is the meaning of this. अगर ये समझ में आ गया तो very interesting it would be your accounting knowledge. Always for each and every debit there must be a corresponding credit is a principle of double entry. So the claims also called equity of the owners is termed as what? Capital. Owners equity. हम ओनर्स इक्विटी कंपनी अकाउंट्स में ओनर्स इक्विटी बोलते हैं, इधर हम कैपिटल बोलते हैं. बस सोल ट्रेडर में कैपिटल, पार्टनरशिप में पार्टनर्स कैपिटल बोलते हैं, कंपनी में ओनर्स इक्विटी बोलते हैं, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल. ऑल मीन्स द सेम. एंड दैट सॉरी एंड दैट ऑफ आउटसाइडर्स एज लायबिलिटीज, बाहर वालों को क्रेडिटर्स इक्विटी. द टू-फोल्ड इफेक्ट इन रेस्पेक्ट ऑफ ऑल ट्रांजैक्शन मस्ट बी ड्यूली रिकॉर्डेड इन द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. मस्ट is that word must हमने बोला. Must means what? It has to be recorded. For each and every debit, there must be a corresponding credit. That is the principle of dual aspect concept. Now, another concept is what? Materiality concept. So अभी तक हम कितने करें? If you remember, business entity concept, money measurement concept. Then we had dual asset concept. Then और क्या करें हम? Just revising for you all. Dual asset कर दिए, हाँ cost concept 4 हो गया. So I want you to remember like that. Then materiality concept. What is materiality concept? This is थोड़ा technical है. I'll give an example and make you understand. The concept of materiality requires that accounting should focus on material facts. That is very important. Effort should not be wasted in recording and presenting facts which are immaterial in the determination of the income. Always I give some example for the students, okay? Suppose one boy and a girl are getting married. They are meeting for the first time. So when boy is come to talk to the girl, he should talk material fact बात करना. Last night I went for a movie. Last month हमने lunch खाया. उधर जाके हमारे ग्रैंड मदर के पास ब्रेकफास्ट करे, फिर उधर के बाद एक पिक्चर देखे, इधर आके करे. वो सब हाउ डज इट मैटर फॉर द गर्ल? द बॉय शुड टॉक फैक्ट लाइक आई हैव डन माय एजुकेशन इतना है, आई एम वर्किंग इन दिस, आई एम डूइंग दिस, इज माय सैलरी, इज माय रिकॉर्ड्स आर लाइक दैट. इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. बेस्ड ऑन दिस द गर्ल विल बी इन अ पोजीशन टू टेक डिसीजन. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल. द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मेटीरियलिटी रिक्वायर्स दैट accounting should be focused on material facts. Effort should not be wasted in recording and presenting facts which are immaterial in the determination of. Sometimes you feel some people will be talking. हम बोलते हैं भाई don't talk irrelevant, talk something relevant. हम ऐसा बोलते हैं ना. So relevance बात करना. So wasteful talking waste हो जाता, time waste हो जाता. So similarly accounting में भी we should talk about material facts. We should not waste time in recording immaterial facts. That is going to not affect the business. Now the question that arises here is what is a material fact? So अभी आपके mind में आया होगा what sir is trying to tell. What is a material fact? The material of the fact depends on its nature and the amount of involved. Very, very important. The materiality of the fact depends on its nature, what kind of transaction it is, and the amount of involved. So please remember this. I will make it. Any fact would be considered as material if it is reasonably believed that its knowledge would influence the decision of informed users of financial statement. अभी जो भी information आपको है, अगर आप उसके ऊपर ध्यान देंगे, उसके ऊपर से डिसीजन लेंगे तो वो इम्पोर्टेंट होगा। हम थोड़ी चीजों के ऊपर ध्यान नहीं देंगे, उसको मतलब अपन विल नॉट टेक इनटू कंसिडरेशन, देन दैट विल बिकम इममेटीरियल. सो यू शुड आल्सो, दैट इज व्हाट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. What is material fact, what is immaterial, you should decide. वो suppose मेरा monthly expenditure में if I spent some 10 rupees का chocolate कुछ हो गया, I don't eat, वो खराब हो गया, I don't discuss about it और 10 rupees के बारे में सोचता नहीं. 10 rupees किधर गया वो करके time waste करे तो it is not going to affect it. वही अगर एक 10,000 अगर कुछ problem हो गया, I'll check up because 10,000 is a material fact for me. It will decide. अगर वो 10,000 का कुछ खरीद के खराब हो गए तो that will influence that next time I will not try to waste that 10,000 on that item because it is affecting me. वो 5 rupees 10 rupees का मतलब ही नहीं. I will not waste time. So you should all of us should understand like that. What is materiality concept? It depends. So that is a red में लिखा देखो. Any fact would be considered as material if it is reasonably believed that its knowledge would influence the decision of the informed users of financial statement. अभी हम कॉलेज में एडमिशन को जा रहे हैं, एडमिशन को गए तो कोई बोलता कैंटीन में एक आइटम कुछ अच्छा रहेगा करके बोले तो क्या अपने बच्चे को उधर एडमिशन दे देंगे? हम उसमें नहीं देंगे. वो आइटम अच्छा है बुरा है, इट इज इमेटीरियल. कॉलेज अच्छा है, लेक्चरर्स अच्छे है, लाइब्रेरी अच्छा है, टीचिंग अच्छा है, वो देखेंगे. That will make my decision to join my son or not on the basis on वो रसगुल्ले या गुलाब जामुन अच्छा होता है या बुरा होता है. अच्छा हो तो क्या है, बुरा है तो हाउ डज इट. अच्छा रहे तो मेरा बेटा खाएगा, नहीं रहे तो नहीं खाएगा, मतलब नहीं है. बट कॉलेज में ज्वाइन करना है नहीं करना में और रसगुल्ला गुलाब जामुन के ऊपर डिसीजन के ऊपर नहीं लेंगे. Whether the college is good or bad based on the teaching faculty, whether the college is good, ambience अच्छा है, classrooms अच्छे है, उनका लाइटिंग, उसका लाइब्रेरी फैसिलिटीज अच्छा है, वो डिसाइड करेंगे. सो व्हाट इज मटेरियल कॉन्सेप्ट, यू शुड नॉट थिंक. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मनी स्पेंट ऑन क्रिएशन ऑफ एडिशनल कैपेसिटी ऑफ ए थिएटर वुड बी ए मटेरियल फैक्ट. देखो अभी हमारा थिएटर है, उसमें एडिशनल कैपेसिटी और एक 100 चेयर्स डाले तो इट इज ए मटेरियल फैक्ट. As it is going to increase the future earning capacity. हम एक 100 chairs एक 10 chairs add करें तो will increase the earning capacity. So that is a material fact. All such information about material fact should be disclosed through the financial statement. आपको immaterial fact का यही example में आपको मैं बोलता देखो, अभी हमारा थिएटर में एक 15-20 कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज करे तो हमारा अर्निंग कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज होता है. वही गेट के सामने एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को बिठाए तो वो टिकट कलेक्ट करता ना, अंदर जाने के लिए टिकट देखता. वो 10th क्लास का बच्चा पहले था, अभी सीए बच्चे को, वो 10th क्लास बच्चा रहे तो क्या, सीए बच्चा बैठे तो क्या, हाउ डज इट मैटर, मेरे कुछ होता क्या? कोई आप लोग थिएटर में जाएंगे क्या, उन्हें वो 10th क्लास बच्चा नहीं बैठा, सीए बच्चा बैठा करके जाएंगे क्या? मूवी अच्छा रहे तो जाएंगे ना. सो दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज योर, दैट इज इमेटीरियल फॉर यू. हु इज सिटिंग देयर, उन्हें कैसा है, कैसा दिखता, क्या दिखता, अपने मतलब नहीं. सो दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द सब्जेक्ट. व्हाट इज मेटीरियलिटी एंड व्हाट इज इमेटीरियलिटी, यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड. व्हिच विल अफेक्ट, व्हिच विल नॉट अफेक्ट. Now, conservatism is another very important. Before I start telling, I will tell you the example, then you will understand how important it is. Suppose we are doing business, we sold some 10-15 people on credit. हम क्रेडिट पे बेचे, मीन्स क्रेडिट में उधार में दिए, वो आके हमने को नेक्स्ट मंथ फिर पैसे देना. 10 लोग लिए 10-10 हजार, will all of them will come and pay on the first day itself? नहीं पे करेंगे ना, उनको देना है फर्स्ट को. 10 लोग हमारे पास 10,000 का मटेरियल लिए एंड दे प्रॉमिस्ड अस दैट दे विल कम एंड पे अस ऑन द फर्स्ट, बट दे हैव नॉट पेड. दे हैव नॉट, दे विल नॉट पे. एक आदमी या 2 आदमी नहीं करेंगे, उनके पास रीजंस रहते, कुछ बैंक बंद हो गया, कुछ हो गया, कोई मर गया, कोई गुजर गया, क्या हुआ, ऐसा कुछ रीजन देंगे, बट दे विल नॉट पे. बट अदर पीपल, देयर आर सम पीपल, कोई मर गया, कुछ गुजर गया, क्या भी हुआ तो भी दे विल कम एंड पे. So we have 2 types of people. So we should be conservative. सब जने पैसा पे करते करके हम नहीं सोच रहा, एक आधा आदमी नहीं पे करता करके हम प्रोविजन करते। इसलिए अब व्हेन आई कम टू द फाइनल अकाउंट्स पढ़ाई जब भी आपको मैं पढ़ाता कि प्रोविजन फॉर डाउटफुल डेट्स क्यों करते। तो बेस्ड ऑन द कंजर्वेटिज्म, अगर ताकि कोई नहीं पे करा तो हम रेडी, सावधान हो जाए। सो वी विल बी अलर्ट। अगर कोई नहीं पे कर रहा, अभी देखो मेरे को 10 हजार देना है, फिर 2 जने नहीं देते, 20,000 नहीं आता, मैं दूसरों को देना, तो आई विल मेक ए प्रोविजन एंड कीप बी रेडी। 100 जने देते, 100 जने मैं देता बोले तो नहीं होता। अभी हम एयरपोर्ट को जाते, एयरपोर्ट को गए तो स्टेशन को जाते तो 10-15 मिनट या आधा घंटा पहले जाएंगे। क्यों जाएंगे? ऑन द रोड कुछ रोड किधर तो भी ट्रैफिक जाम होता, कुछ होता, ऐसा होता करके हम क्या करते हैं, हाफ एन आवर पहले निकल जाएंगे ताकि हम पहुंच जाएंगे। विल नॉट मिस द ट्रेन, will not miss the flight. So you all know that is the concept of conservatism is also called prudence. Provides guidance for recording transactions in the books of accounts and is based on the policy of playing safe. तो उसका मतलब क्या? सेफ, आप वी आर प्लेइंग वेरी सेफ। अगर आधा घंटा पहले स्टेशन पे गए तो वही मीन सेफ्टी के लिए हम पहले पहुंच जाएंगे ताकि हम ट्रेन नहीं मिस करेंगे, हमारा लॉस नहीं होता। दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड। द कॉन्सेप्ट स्टेट्स दैट a conscious approach should be adopted by ascertaining income so that profits of the enterprise are not overstated. That is what is very important. The concept of conservatism requires that profit should not be recorded until realized, but all losses, even those which may have a remote possibility, are to be provided for in the books of account. So, ये important है देखो. So, we should always hope for the best and prepare for the worst both. That is conservative. I am telling hope for the best. अच्छा होता करे, but you should be ready for the worst position. So the concept of conservatism requires that. अभी देखो थर्ड वेव आता है, ये बहुत डेंजर होता करके बोल, we are all getting prepared. मास्क डाल रहे, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कर रहे, मेडिसिन कर रहे, ज्यादा मत करो बोल रहे. That is only we are playing safe ताकि we will not be attacked by it. So this is what conservatism है. क्या होता है देखेंगे बोले तो कुछ भी हो सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता, like that. So the concept of conservatism requires that profit should not be recorded. Profits don't bother. Profits अच्छा हो तो मस्त है, there is no problem at all until realized. But all losses, even those which may have to remote possibility, are to be provided for in the books of the account. Thus, if market value of the goods purchased has fallen down, the stock will show at cost price in the books, but if the market value has gone up, the gain is not to be recorded until the stock is sold. So that is why we got one principle. The closing stock should be valued at always at cost price or market price, whichever is lower. Agar पूछे तो we should always value whichever is lower करके, not at market price or cost price. अगर market price ज़्यादा है तो you should record at cost price. By chance cost price ज़्यादा है, market price कम है तो we should record at market price. So that is a very, very important reason for recording the closing stock, which should be recorded at cost price or market price, whichever is lower. Now, this approach of providing for the losses but not recognizing the gains until realized is called conservatism approach. This is the very important, means technical definition what I said. This approach of providing for the losses, you have to provide for losses, provide for doubtful debts, provide for bad debts and all, but not recognizing the gains. Gains until realized. Gain IJ bhi record kara, but losses we should always record it. So this may be reflecting a generally pessimistic attitude adopted by the accountants, but it is an important way of dealing. So always you should be pessimistic, optimistic nahi rehna. अच्छा होता ये होता करके बोले तो you'll be on the road. So you should be very careful. Pessimistic is conservatism. Always one should be pessimistic attitude होना. अभी बोलते हैं ना, देखो देर एक आपको, I do not know whether all of you know or not. If you are given a half glass of bottle, half glass means or water, कोई बोलता है it is half empty, बोलता है एक जने half, वो आधा ग्लास में पानी, you can say half empty भी बोल सकते हो, half full भी बोल सकते हो. This is half empty कौन बोलता है? Pessimistic वाला बोलता है, half full optimistic करके. So this kind of so many theories are there. कैसा deal करना? It all depends. So this is very important point which I am telling. This may be reflecting a generally pessimistic attitude adopted by the accountant, but is an important way of dealing with uncertainty and protecting the interest of creditors against an unwanted distribution of firm's assets. However, deliberate attempt to underestimate the value of assets should be discouraged, as it will lead to hidden profits called secret reserves. ये समझ में आ रहा आपको? However, deliberate attempts to underestimate the value of assets should be discouraged. Because you are pessimistic करके, you should expect losses करके, you should not show your assets at a very less figure. You should show at a depreciate figure or something less, but not too. If you do that now, it will be indirectly lead to hidden profits and called secret reserves. This is another very technical hai. If you can understand, you understand, otherwise it's okay. But I'm just trying to explain. The concept of revenue recognition requires that the revenue of a business transaction should be included in the accounting records only when it is realized. Here arises two questions in mind. First is termed as revenue, and the other when the revenue is realized. What is revenue and what is revenue realized? Revenue is the inflow of cash arising from the sale of goods and services by an intermediary. That is revenue. When you're selling the goods, you are realizing the revenue, but the cash should be received. And secondly, revenue is assumed to be realized or recognized when a legal right to receive it arises. That is the point of time when goods have been sold or services have been rendered. In case of contracts like construction work, which take long, say 2 to 3 years to complete, proportionate amount of revenue based on the part of the contract completed by the end of the period is treated as realized. हम इसको work certified, work uncertified. This I will be able to teach you later on. You will not be able to understand, you know. Anything. Then another one more important. This all, you know, based on accrual accounting is based on matching concept and revenue recognition. You know? So the process of ascertaining the amount of profit earned or the loss incurred during a particular period involves deduction of all the related expenses from the revenue earned during. What is the revenue for the year and what are the expenses for the year? Same year ka income, same year ka expenses karke, you should find out. That is called matching concept. The matching concept emphasizes exactly on this concept. The matching emphasizes exactly on this concept of what it states that expenses incurred in an accounting period should be matched with the revenue earned during that period. A year ka expenses kitna? A year ka. Last year ka income, last year ka, a year ka expenses, a year ka expenses, last year ka income, aisa nahi karna. So you know what is your income, what is the expenditure for the year. That is called the matching concept. Very important. So the matching concept thus implies that all revenues earned during an accounting year, whether received during that year or not, and all expenses incurred whether during the year. That's why I'm final accounts karte to. Suppose salary every month 10,000 pay karna hai. In a year we have to pay every month 1,000. In a year we have to pay 12,000. अगर यदि हम 10,000 पे करें तो हम क्या करते? 2,000 outstanding दिखलाते, because the expenditure for the year is 12,000 salaries. So that is called accrual accounting, not cash accounting. So accrual accounting में this very important point होगा, matching concept, incurred whether paid during the year or not should be taken into account by ascertaining the profit or loss for that year. इसका मतलब ये है. Then objectivity is another very important. You know, technically you should understand. See, इतना importance है accounting के लिए. आपको इतने concepts and conventions मालूम रहे तो all our accounting is based on all these concepts. You know, so the concept of objectivity requires that accounting transactions should be recorded in an objective manner, free from the bias of accountants and others. If free from the bias of accountants, I'll give the example tomorrow. अभी फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू से वो कॉलेज अच्छा है, ये बुरा है, वो बच्चा लड़की अच्छा है, बुरा है. So if you like that girl, we say अच्छा है करके. वो कॉलेज अच्छा है means अच्छा है, because it is biased. because we want to say something good about it, we keep saying. It should not be like that, objective. So this can be possible when each of the transaction is supported by verifiable documents. So you cannot, anything objectivity proof if the transaction is supported by the verifiable. For example, Abhi, you should understand the transaction for the purchase of material may be supported by the cash receipt for the money paid. If the same is purchased on cash or a copy of invoice and delivery challan, if the same is purchased on paid, if the same is purchased on cash, or copy of invoice and delivery challan, if the same is purchased, means you are showing that it is there. So similarly, receipt for the amount paid for purchase of machine becomes the documentary evidence for the cost of machine and provides an objective basis for verifying this transaction. So that is the meaning of objectivity concept. Anything which it should be supported by verifiable documents. Another is full disclosure concept is there. It is also something related to materiality concept only. देखो आपको मालूम होगा. So information provided by financial statements are used by different groups of people. है ना अपना अभी बैलेंस शीट देख के अभी वो कंपनी अच्छा है बुरा है करके किसी को भी नहीं मालूम होता. अपन क्या करते पेपर में देखते किधर भी देखते उनका बैलेंस शीट जो पब्लिश हुआ and that is a balance sheet which has been certified by the chartered accountant. We feel that it is correct and verifiable and reliable. Who based on that? That is why whatever you disclose, it should be perfectly disclosed. Information. Suppose one girl is getting married to a boy, and the boy had undergone some operation or some surgery. Should the boy tell the girl or not? If he tells to the girl, if the girl is happy and comfortable, she'll marry him. Otherwise, she'll say, okay, I'm not interested. But अगर वो full disclosure नहीं करने से बाद में मालूम होता है, divorce can take place. So this is the meaning of full disclosure. I hope I gave some example for you to understand. Information provided by the financial statements are used by different groups of people, such as investors, lenders, suppliers, and all, taking various financial decisions. So in the corporate form of organization, there is a distinction between those managing the affairs of the enterprise and those owning it. अभी कंपनी में क्या करता है डायरेक्टर्स डायरेक्टर्स रहते हैं. Someone said something. Okay, matching concept and objectivity concept. I will Samantha. I will. Let me just finish this and I'll come back to matching and objectivity. Okay. So suppose a company है, company में managers. Suppose in college है, college is owned by some owners. Owners कोई भी रहते, principal and lecturers बाहर वाले रहते हैं ना. They are managing the college. So क्या होता है? There is a distinction between those managing the affairs and those. So financial statement, however, are the only or the basis means of communicating financially to all the interested parties. So if you are an owner, no, you try to give a correct picture. So it should not be biased. हम कभी हम हमारे बच्चों के बारे में बात करें तो हम क्या पढ़ते हैं? टीचर करेक्ट बोलती है बच्चा ठीक से नहीं पढ़ रहा है, ये बच्चा ऐसा है वैसा है बोलते. बट मदर क्या बोलती है? मेरा बेटा अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा बच्चा इज ए गुड बॉय बोलते. पेरेंट्स विल नेवर से बैड अबाउट देयर चिल्ड्रन, है ना. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द व्हाट आई वांट टू say full disclosure means everyone should disclose correctly without any bias. That is called a. अच्छा, something Samantha was asking, matching concept. Matching concept is nothing but the year's income, the year's expenditure should be matched so that you'll know the correct profit or loss. You should not take different years figures, a different year expenditure and different year incomes. A year ka income, a year ka expenditure should be matched so that you know whether you made a profit or loss for this year. That is the meaning of matching concept. Dekho, I will just matching. So the matching concept emphasizes, it said that the expenses incurred in an accounting period should be matched with the revenues earned during that period. I hope, Samantha, you understood. Expenses incurred in an accounting period should be matched with the revenues earned for that period. This is very, very important. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Objectivity also I'll tell Samantha 1 minute. I'll make you. The concept object requires that the accounting trial should be recorded in objective manner, free from the bias of accountants and अब accountant मनमाने prepare करके मनमाने appreciation, suppose depreciate करना है ना, एक asset को ज़्यादा percentage नहीं करना, 10% उसका जिसका value कितना correct है तो उतना ही करना. Some people, overstate and understate, आपका मनमाने करके. That should not be the. It should be objectivity should be very clear. It should not be having any biased information, because this can be possible when each of the transactions is supported. So ये objectivity अगर correct होना तो it can be compared. So अपन support करना verifiable documents के साथ. Suppose you say, Samantha, you say, I bought a car for 5 lakhs का 6 lakhs बोलते तुम चुप के bias ज़्यादा दिखलाने. Suppose if I say show me the receipt बोलते you can't be showing. So that means your objective was not fair. You wanted to fake some information. So that should not be the objectivity. Should be based. You should give the information in such a way that it can be, the transaction can be supported and verifiable by the documents. That is the meaning of objectivity. Very important. Consistency means what? For example, I'll ask you, can you tell me last month तुम्हारे घर में expenditure every month 50,000 हो रहा खर्चा, every month is 50,000. This month you have purchased every 50,000 plus एक 30,000 का टीवी खरीदे. तो मैं पूछता आपका खर्चा कितना है, मीन्स आप क्या बोल रहे, 80,000 हुआ साहब बोल रहे, सर बोल रहे क्या? Right. So you see consistency में क्या होता? I'll just give you an example. Every month your monthly expenditure is 50,000. ये January month में your खर्चा तो 50 है ही है, 30,000 का एक टीवी खरीदे. So I'm asking you, what is your expenditure means? You should say 50,000, not 80,000, because you are not taking 30,000. 30,000 is a capital expenditure. You should not mix with the revenue. Every month जो खर्चा है वही बोलना है. ये मंथ में अलग कर देना. वो 30,000 वो टीवी का है, नेक्स्ट मंथ फिर टीवी नहीं खरीदते ना, तो टीवी इज ए कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. सो कंसिस्टेंसी मींस जो भी एक्सपेंडिचर है वही एक्सपेंडिचर लेना एवरी मंथ. If you are providing 10% depreciation every year, you should provide 10% only. If you are following state line method, you should follow state line method. If you are following, so whatever rules and regulations you are following, same thing you should follow. For example, तुम घर से डेली घर से ऑफिस को आने के लिए तुम्हारे को 15 मिनट्स होता है या हाफ एन आवर होता है. सोचो आज एक दिन क्या हुआ, देयर वाज सम बिग एक्सीडेंट हुआ हो वो रोड के ऊपर या कुछ हो गया तो रोड बंद हो गया. यू टुक 3 आवर्स टू कम. फिर नेक्स्ट डे 3 आवर्स लेंगे क्या तुम पहले स्टार्ट होंगे? नहीं, दैट इज नॉट रेगुलर. इट इज कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं. कंसिस्टेंसी मीन्स एवरी डे यू टेक 15 मिनट्स वैसा. सो दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कंसिस्टेंसी आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल. You should follow the same principles, same rules, same methods every year. So the accounting information provided by the financial statement would be useful in drawing conclusions regarding the working of enterprise only when it allows. So comparisons over a period of time as well as with the working of the other enterprises. Thus both inter-firm and inter-firm comparisons are required to be made. This can be possible only when accounting policies and practices followed by enterprise are uniform. That means consistent and consistent. So you should follow every month same thing. अभी last month 50,000 खर्चा हो गया, ये month 80,000 खर्चा करके it is wrong, no? 80,000 में तुम 30,000 हटा देना. That means last month भी 50, ये month भी 50, you'll be happy. अरे last month 30, 50 हुआ, ये month 80 में you are not following the same rules. So that is the meaning of consistency. I hope you all understood with this. Anyone still having doubt? देखते हैं. So also the comparison between the financial results of two enterprises would be meaningful only if same kind of accounting methods and policies are adopted in the preparation of finance. अभी दो students को compare कर रहा तो teacher एक ही रहना, उसका अलग teacher है, इसका अलग teacher है, तो you should not compare. इसका teacher अलग है, मेरा teacher अलग रहे तो कैसा होता? उधर अच्छा पढ़ाएंगे तो you should same teacher पढ़ा रहे दोनों को same class में, so ऐसा same type of students ऐसा comparisons देख के करना. So, however, consistency does not prohibit change in accounting policies. Necessary required changes are fully disclosed by presenting their financial statements, indicating their probable effects on the fund. अगर कुछ change करना है तो तुम change करके you should disclose in the financial statements. So that's all. This is the, so I just wanted you to understand. So easily आप एक एक याद रख लेना, please. So exam में अच्छा होगा. First you start with what? Business entity concept 1. Second is what? Money measurement concept. Third is going concern. Fourth is cost concept. Fifth is accounting period. Fifth is cost concept. Then sixth is dual aspect. ये 6 के बारे में अच्छा लिखे तो more than सब. Materiality concept. Then you got conservatism concept. Anything. I think Nageshwar Agar, you can unmute them. I can discuss. It is already 4:20.
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
If they have any doubts, I can discuss with them.
Yeah.
Consistent, not to take capital expenses. Please repeat with it. You should understand, Nayak. In consistency, I did not say means what. What I want to tell you, consistency, whatever you are taking this month, the same expenditures should be compared with the next month. तुम capital expenses और revenue, last month में revenue expense, suppose आपका खर्चा 10,000 हुआ, monthly खर्चा 50,000 है, मैं बोला आपको, ये month भी 50,000 ही हो रहा, but आपने क्या करा, 30,000 टीवी का खर्चा भी लेके आप कंपेयर कर रहे, लास्ट मंथ 50 हुआ, ये मंथ 80,000 हो रहा, वो नहीं होता ना, बिकॉज यू हैव टेकन कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर इनटू अकाउंट, उसको हटा के देखो, लास्ट मंथ भी 50 है, ये मंथ भी 50 है, वैसा सोचना. आई डिडंट से, फॉर आई गिव एन एग्जांपल फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. समझ में आया नायक? अभी जो भी कर रहे, अभी दो स्टूडेंट्स को कंपेयर करना है, दो स्टूडेंट्स को कंपेयर करे तो सेम टीचर पढ़ाए जो भी तुम कंपेयर करना कि ये बच्चा अच्छा पढ़ रहा है, ये अच्छा, ये टीचर ये बच्चे को दूसरा टीचर पढ़ा रहा है, ये बच्चे को दूसरा टीचर पढ़ा रहा है. You should not. So in entity, is entity treated as a separate unit in business? Yes, entity is a separate unit in business. Business entity means business अलग होता and owner अलग होता. Then only we can do the transactions. Business entity, it separates the owner from the business. That is called business entity. Very important. Based on that only, our entire accounting is based on business entity concept. We cannot include personal and business together. Then we will not know the profit or loss or name on. Okay. Anil Kumar, did you understand this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, next, Mr. Ajay Singh.
Ajay Singh, कुछ पूछ रहे डाउट पूछ लेना.
सर नमस्ते. सर नमस्ते.
सॉरी
हेलो सर. ये कह रहे हैं कि मनी मेजरमेंट कॉन्सेप्ट और मैटेरियलिटी कॉन्सेप्ट में डिफरेंस क्या है?
आई विल टेल यू. मनी मेजरमेंट कॉन्सेप्ट में क्या होता, आप विच कैन बी मेजर्ड इन मॉनेटरी टर्म्स ओनली रिकॉर्ड करना, विच कैन नॉट बी मेजर्ड. हमको एक आदमी आई लाइक समवन, आई लव समवन, आई ऐसा वो नहीं रिकॉर्ड करते. दैट इज कॉल्ड मनी मेजरमेंट कॉन्सेप्ट. एंड मेटीरियलिटी कॉन्सेप्ट में क्या होता, विच कैन अफेक्ट मेटीरियलिटी, वो पॉइंट के ऊपर आपका डिसीजन चेंज होता. तो वैसे अभी आई टोल्ड ना, स्मॉल एग्जांपल, एक कॉलेज में कैंटीन में रसगुल्ला है अच्छा है करके, गुलाब जाम अच्छा है करके आपके बच्चों को एडमिशन नहीं लेंगे. आप किसके ऊपर लेंगे? कॉलेज का लेक्चरर्स अच्छे होंगे, लाइब्रेरी अच्छा है, दैट इज मेटीरियलिटी कॉन्सेप्ट. वो अच्छा है बुरा है, दैट इज इममेटीरियल फॉर यू. सो मेटीरियलिटी कॉन्सेप्ट शुड बी सच वे, अपना डिसीजन चेंज नहीं होना, सच थिंग शुड नॉट बी एक्सपोज्ड, गिवन इंपॉर्टेंस. Please send today's class session in the anything. Nandakumar
क्वेश्चन और है सर.
हाँ बोलो अजय, बोलो पूछ प्लीज.
9th नंबर है रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइजेशन कॉन्सेप्ट.
ये
रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइजेशन कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में दोबारा सर एक बार बता दें.
हाँ, रेवेन्यू रिकग्निशन कॉन्सेप्ट का मतलब क्या है? सी व्हेन यू आर सेलिंग द गुड्स, है ना, सेल करके गुड्स सेल करे तो दैट इज रेवेन्यू, दैट शुड बी रिकग्नाइज्ड इन दैट सेम मंथ. आपको पैसा 4 महीने के बाद 10 महीने के बाद आएगा, तभी नहीं रिकॉर्ड करना, अभी रिकग्नाइज करके अभी रिकॉर्ड करना. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ रेवेन्यू रिकग्निशन. ठीक है सर? नंद कुमार अंडरस्टूड? रेवेन्यू रिकग्निशन इज एट द टाइम ऑफ द सेल, एट द टाइम ऑफ द एक्चुअल सेल यू शुड रिकॉर्ड करना, यू शुड नॉट रिकॉर्ड एनी अदर टाइम. आप सेल करने के बाद 10 महीने के बाद पैसा आएगा तभी नहीं रिकॉर्ड करना, आज ही रिकॉर्ड करना. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ रेवेन्यू रिकग्निशन.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Next, any queries? Any more queries? Sir, I hope no queries.
No, I think.
Okay, so if there are no further queries, we'll wind up this session. On behalf of IRIFM, I thank Shri G Vijaya sir for explaining the commercial bookkeeping theory part so well. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And tomorrow we have session starts at 3 o'clock. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.